Hey guys, Ryan here. So I have a brand new video for you guys. This is going to be my entire One Piece collection. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so a little bit of backstory is that I've known about One Piece for a really long time, right? And I've known about it ever since I was in preschool when I was like 3 or 4 years old to 5 years old. And it was in my first Shonen Jump magazine, which I got from the Scholastic kind of book fair, and that got me into Dragon Ball Z. Kids were into Dragon Ball Z mainly in my preschool, not so much One Piece. In fact, they would bring action figures to this school, which was neat, and I was kind of jealous of one kid named Nick because he had an action figure of Frieza, and he had like so many awesome Dragon Ball Z figures. But yeah, it's kind of cool coming full circle with that, with making stop motion videos with Dragon Ball Z and anime and stuff. But yeah, so basically back to One Piece. So I've known about One Piece for a quite long time, and yeah, I got into it in the year of 2017, and I got hooked by the second episode that I watched. And I've been a fan ever since. So, yeah, that's a little bit of backstory of how I got into One Piece. I heard this song. It's a really awesome song. It's like the strongest, I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was this really awesome One Piece song, and yeah, so that kind of caught my interest, and then I tried out the anime, got the manga box sets, and I've been a fan ever since. So yeah. Alright, so we're going to start off with One Piece Volume 1. So, this is where it all starts, of course, and there's going to be a new anime, called The One Piece, so that's awesome, and it'll have like even better pacing, like closer to the manga, and it'll be just a new animation with the current animation quality, which will be awesome to see the very start of One Piece in current animation quality. So yeah. Alright, so we have Luffy, the main character, of course, Zoro, the first crewmate, Nami, the kind of leader of maps and navigation. So, yep, that is Volume 1. That is Romance Dawn for One Piece. Later on, there's Romance Dawn for the New World, which is a later segment of One Piece. But, yeah, the art style is lovely. Oda has such a big, expansive world. And I heard an interesting fact, actually, so I'll just say it now. So it's Volume 1. So, Oda doesn't kill off the villains in One Piece because he really wants them to feel that defeat of Luffy winning and continuing to win throughout One Piece. So that's kind of an interesting fact. But, yeah, here is Volume 2 with Buggy and his crew. The first villain you see is Alvida, and then you see is actually, let me back up a little bit. So the first villain you see is Alvida, and she in the anime they're on a ship, but in the manga they're actually on an island. So that's kind of a difference there, which is interesting to see. So yeah, there's Alvida first, then Captain Morgan, Axe Hand Morgan, and then Buggy the Clown. And Buggy the Clown can separate his body parts, and he has deadly crewmates, and they're after the One Piece. And Buggy wants to be king of the pirates just like Luffy does. And they all have really interesting ambitions and dreams. Like, for example, Zoro wants to become the greatest swordsman in the Grand Line. and in the entire world of One Piece. And Nami wants to chart the whole world, make a map of the whole world. She's great at that. And Luffy wants to become king of the pirates. So I'll keep telling each of the new crewmates their goals and their ambitions as we go along, so that I explain it properly and in the order of sequence of events. So on the back of this volume, we have Luffy giving a peace sign for volume 2. It's very fitting. And like at one point, Luffy's in a cage and Zoro has to like lift him up and carry him around, even though it's really strenuous. But you know, Zoro's strong, so he can do it. Alright, next up we got is volume 3 with the gold and red coat of Luffy, which looks really cool. We have Zoro and Luffy here. We have Luffy opening up his hands to the world. He has really cool devil fruit powers. So as a boy, he eats the Gum Gum devil fruit. And it's in a chest. And yeah. So that happens. And then from then on, Luffy can't swim in water, and he has really stretchy body parts that can stretch pretty much as far as he can think. And he can stretch as pretty much as far as he can, you know, try. So yeah. Alright, so we have volume 4 of One Piece with the Black Cat Pirates with Klahadore, or aka Captain Kuro, the real villain in this little arc. This is where we get to see Usopp for the first time, which is really cool. And his backstory, like with the town, him being known as the town liar, was kind of hilarious. How every day he'd be like, "There's pirates, pirates," and then the townspeople would come out and there's no pirates. And then they'd all chase him down, and then he'd escape, and he'd do that every day until real pirates actually came. So that's interesting. But yeah, I like the story between Usopp and Kaya, how she's like this sick girl, and Klahadore is taking care of her, you know, like pretending to be good when she's really bad. So that's all interesting, especially the fight scene between Luffy and the Black Cat Pirates, how it's like all on this hill, and they're trying to stop them from, you know, hurting the townspeople and taking out Kaya for good. So yeah, there's the back of the volume with Luffy and the flag stepping forward into the world. Next up, we got is volume 5 with Kaya, Usopp's first crew, the kids. They actually help out in this little arc. They actually help so that I think it was like Usopp, so he can like shoot Django, who's trying to take out Kaya for good. But yeah, there's that volume. Luffy's eating ice cream. He loves food, of course, like Goku. Alright, so we are in the East Blue Saga, which is the very start of One Piece. So, yeah, we have Zoro, Luffy, Nami, and Usopp with a black cat, and they're wearing black suits and a dress for Nami. And that's fun seeing like different outfits for them to wear. And then on the back we have Luffy jumping into the water with a bunch of floaties because he can't swim. That's kind of funny. Alright, next up, Volume 7. This is the Barati arc where we meet Sanji, the cook of the crew. Now, it's interesting how each crewmate joins the crew in different ways and the way the story is told and stuff. But, yeah, so we have like the Chef Zeph. He's really cool. He's a really strong pirate who's done being a pirate and is trying to run a island restaurant for pirates, and whoever would want to pay for some food while on the ocean. And yeah, we have Luffy there on the back. Looks really nice. Alright, so we have volume 8. And we have Luffy eating some meat on the back. And then we got Don Krieg on the front with his crew, who try and take down Luffy and the Baratie. But the cooks in Sanji and Chef Zeph won't let that happen. At least not without a fight. So, yeah. But Luffy really perseveres and pushes through and beats Don Krieg, luckily. Alright, next up we got is volume 9. Alright, and yeah, so we got Nami's backstory in this, where she grew up with her mother and Nojiko, her sister, and yeah, emotional stuff. One Piece does storytelling so well, and the backstories told really expand this story, really give more meaning to the characters and what drives them, their goals, ambitions, and dreams and stuff. And the walk to Arlong Park with the fishermen, such a cool moment. And when Luffy puts his straw hat onto Nami and goes and fights Arlong and stuff, and you know, he beats him, that was really cool storytelling. So yeah, we have Arlong there, of course, the fisherman, Luffy in the middle, and then we have the artwork here on the back of the first manga box set, which is on the front of it for One Piece. So there's that. It's cool to see that in full, with the full characters from top to bottom. But yeah, it's interesting because like the fisherman can swim underwater, and Sanji's fighting a fisherman underwater. It's pretty high stakes, for sure, in One Piece. But Luffy destroys Arlong Park for good. So yeah. But that's not the last you see of the fisherman in this story. Alright, next up we got is volume 11. So there they are with the pink couch for the Netflix show, actually, which I hadn't talked about yet today. So it's interesting because they actually did a photo shoot with a couch, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And they're beginning production on season 2, filming in another country. So that's cool. And the Netflix show was like definitely a pleasant surprise for me. Like I knew about it, wasn't really on my radar. I watched it, loved it, can't wait for season 2. Alright, so yeah, we have Luffy with the Going Merry on the back. Love this pink volume with the pink couch. Very cool. Alright, that's it for East Blue. Now we're on to Baroque Works with volume 12. So, there it is. This is where we go to Rogue Town or Logue Town, depending on which version you're reading or watching, whether it's Japanese or English or another language. And so yeah, there's volume 12 with them with a bunch of money running from Marines probably. So yeah. Alright, so moving on here, we got volume 12, which is the very start of Baroque Works. And yeah, so the crew at this point, which includes Luffy, of course, because he's the captain. Then we have Sanji, we have Nami, we have Usopp, and we have Zoro. So, for this, they all kind of segment and put down their feet on this barrel and say what their dreams are, which is really cool. And they kind of like go into the Grand Line, which is like kind of where the One Piece could potentially be somewhere for that. So yeah. Alright. That's volume 12. Moving on here, we got volume 13. We have the agents that work for Sir Crocodile, who's really a villain, but pretending to be a hero of Alabasta, which is wrong, totally wrong. And yeah, this arc is really cool. Oda actually thought that the story was only going to go till Baroque work ended, but that clearly didn't happen. We have much more One Piece, which is awesome. So yeah, we have Vivi in the corner over here, and yeah, she is actually a princess of Alabasta, and she's in disguise at this point in time. So yeah, and then we have Luffy with a fish, which he's caught with some meat. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. All right, next up we got is volume 14 with Mr. 3 and then the girl who can paint. I thought originally that she had devil fruit powers, but she actually can she can just paint. That's what she does. So yeah. Yeah, Vivi is good enough to be a Straw Hat in my opinion. She's a great character. So yep. And then there's the back with Nami and a bird. Alright, next up we got is volume 15. So, this has Usopp and the Elbaf Giants. Cannot wait till we get to Elbaf in One Piece with the Giants Island, which I'm guessing will be the biggest island yet because of how big the Elbaf people are and just in general. So, yeah. Alright, so this is cool though because Usopp gets really inspired by these giants to become a brave warrior of the sea. And these giants are like battling each other for hundreds of years and stuff. And it really inspires Usopp to be a brave warrior. Alright. So, we have volume 16 here. And we got the Doctor. This is where we meet Chopper for the first time. And get his backstory with the flower petals that are pink. And on the back we have Nami and Vivi. So that's a cool illustration there. That was actually an illustration that was in a Shonen Jump magazine back in the day. I would get Shonen Jump magazines and they would come in the mail every month. And you get to read series like Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball, stuff like that. And this color page was in there of these two, I remember. Because I collected them as a kid, and then I bought somebody's collection for like 40 bucks, and I got like 70 magazines for it, which is awesome. But anyways, we're moving on here to volume 17 with Wapple, the villain of this Drum Island arc. And yeah, it gets interesting because there's like an avalanche that happens. Sanji and Luffy get saved by Chopper and the Doctor Lady. And yeah, so I love it. And on the back we got Vivi and then Luffy and a giant dog. Alright, next up we got is volume 18. So this is Fire Fist Ace, Luffy's brother. We get to see him for the first time at this point in time. And he has a really cool introduction. Takes down a bunch of like marine ships or pirate ships or something like that. And he is a really cool character. And his flame fruit powers are really cool. So, great to see Ace there for the first time in the series. And they're trying to reach the kingdom and stop this war from happening that's plotted by Sir Crocodile. And Vivi's with them and stuff. So, yep. Alright, next up we got is Volume 19 with Cobra, and which is the king, but there's this devil fruit user who can transform to look like people if he touches them. And if he does that, then he can transform to look like them and talk like them too and stuff. Which is pretty menacing devil fruit power, I have to say. But yeah, we have Luffy making a face like Sanji, which is funny. And yeah, so for the One Piece live action, they have, oh yeah, on the back, I gotta show the back. They've announced a lot of the characters for Season 2, which is the Baroque Work arc. So it'll have a huge cast of characters, I can already tell. So, yeah. Alright. We are at Volume 20. So, there is Karu in the middle, Smoker, the Marine that's after Luffy, who works with Tashigi, her as well. She's also after Luffy. We have Crocodile, Cobra, and then the leader of the rebels, which is Vivi's old childhood friend. And then we got the back with a hippopotamus and Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp with the giant gun. Nice. Alright. So this is cool. Alright, so we have Volume 21. We got Volume 22. Alright, so next up we got is Volume 21 and 22, where it has the heroes and the villains, including Nico Robin, who actually turns to a hero. She turns good. So, yeah. Alright, we have the last volume of Baroque Works, which is Volume 23, with Vivi. It has Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Chopper, Sanji, and all their fights that happened in this. Zoro's fight between the man with Pure Steel, and he cuts Pure Steel down, was so cool. So, yeah. Really emotional stuff, the finale for this. A lot leading up to it. And early on in Baroque Work, they actually write X on their arms, and they put a wristband, a white wristband over it, and tie it. And then at the end, when Vivi and the Straw Hats are saying farewell, they all lift their arms up, take off the white cloth, and then show X on their arms and show what solid friends they are, and companions and stuff, and friendship. So, yeah. Alright, moving on. We got is 24. Alright, so next up we got is Baroque Work and Skypiea. This is where it starts. For Skypiea and Jaya, Jaya's a miniature arc, and then Skypiea is a full-on arc. So we have the two monkey brothers. We got Bellamy, and then Nico Robin down there, and Luffy in the middle. So how this starts is that they're leaving Alabasta, right? And then Naomi's log pose, which directs to the new island, is pointing up. And yeah, so they're like, what's going on here? The log post is never wrong. And so then this giant ship falls down and almost hits them and stuff, and there's this wreckage, and they go underwater with some swimsuits and diving gear and stuff, and they end up on Jaya later on to that island, and there's this ship guy named Nolan, and he can get them to Skypiea. He can put wings on their ship, and they go up this waterfall that shoots them straight up into Skypiea. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, we have the back here, and we got Vivi and Luffy. And I hear Vivi comes back later in the story, so I cannot wait to get to that point in time, because I'm not caught up. Alright. moving along here, we got volume 25, and we got the goat collects the money, which is from one of the admirals or marines of some kind. We have Shanks, we got Buggy, we got Blackbeard, and we got Luffy. So, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting when they get to Skypiea, because it says, like, welcome to heaven and stuff. And Blackbeard is trying to chase them down, but he doesn't make it to Skypiea, but the Straw Hats do. So there's the back. And, yeah. It's really cool with, like, the water and the sea creatures and all the Straw Hats. Alright, and then we got volume 26, where they get to Skypiea, and everybody there, the Skypieans have wings, and they have a different greeting that means hello. I forget what the word is, but yeah. And they have interesting fruit there. As you can see, Chopper's sucking out of a fruit that's like green, looks like a green pumpkin of some kind. But I bet it's pretty good. And an island. It's Skypiea. There we go. Doom. Yeah, Oda likes to write Doom in the manga. And we have a beautiful illustration on the back. Right there. With birds and the Straw Hats. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 27. With the priest, the god Eneru, or Enel. You can call him either one. And Luffy has wings, and they fight all these priests. The old god gets defeated and has to escape and stuff and whatnot. And there's like these giant snakes called Kami, and the Skypians treat them as gods and stuff, which is kind of interesting. And then there's these, I think it's these Shandians that are fighting these Skypians over territory and stuff. So there's a lot going on, but it's really cool. And yeah, for One Piece, they actually have movies that have better pacing, the current quality of animation, and they're just great to watch. So I would highly recommend those. But on the back, we got the London kind of setting with the giant clock in the background. It's kind of interesting, like all the different places that One Piece could go in its story. Alright, so we have volume 29 with the giant snake that's treated as a god. We have Konus, we have the old god, or Kami. We got Luffy in the middle again. And, yeah. Eneru or Enel. And I love the color pages. You can buy those compendiums or color walks, which compile the color pages that Oda draws. But anyways, back to Enel. He's trying to take over the world. So, and he wants to go to Earth and get off Skypiea and kind of take over the world, at least as far as I remember. But yeah, so there is volume 29. And then we have the back with some pink petals, and Chopper is asleep, but the backstories are so emotional. I remember at the end, Chopper was like crying, singing the pink petals, which makes him think of the doctor who unfortunately passed away. But yeah, we have volume 30 with Eneru and Luffy. So yeah, it's interesting because their two devil fruit powers kind of cancel each other out. And yeah, but they still fight, and it's interesting, and Luffy isn't having any of Enel and his priests and him trying to take over the world and Skypiea and all his wrongdoings and stuff. So yeah, and then on the back we have them all taking a nap, doing a picnic of some kind. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 31, and we have the Shandians and the Skypians and their backstory with Nolan, which was very emotional, and Nolan like cures the people's illness and stuff, but things happen and then they end up not ever seeing each other again, these two. But yeah, definitely emotional stuff. And then we have ramen with some more pigs. And Sanji is serving up the food, of course, because he's a cook. Makes sense. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 32. So, this is the end of Skypiea, moving along into Water 7 and Nenny's Lobby, which by far my favorite parts of One Piece so far. And there's this bird that can only go like south, only one direction. It can't fly in any other direction, which is kind of funny. And yeah, we have the Straw Hats like slowly, with this giant octopus that's attached to the Going Merry, slowly letting down air until they reach the water level. So yeah, Usopp's like trying to hang on in the back. And then we have a really colorful illustration right there with them playing musical instruments, which is very fun. So many ways One Piece could go in story-wise. So we got volume 33, and it's a Davy back fight. We have Foxy, the captain of the Foxy Pirates. They do some mini games, some sports of some, and yeah, it's interesting to see that happen. I remember, and this is just the volume. This is the whole story of the Foxy Davy back challenge. But there's a cool couple of parts about it. So there's a part where Zoro tells Chopper to man up because he's crying because he's gonna leave the Straw Hat crew because that's the kind of the rules of the game. But Zoro isn't having it, and he tells Chopper to man up, and Chopper does. So another cool part had the Froggy Monsters, where it's Zoro and Sanji, and yeah, they have to battle them in a sports match. And then like Foxy keeps cheating during the games, which is not good. Alright, so moving on here, we got volume 34 with the CP9 members. They're disguised as shipwrights and shipmakers. We got Rob Lucci, the villain, the main villain of this arc. We got Luffy. We have Iceberg, the mayor of Water 7. They actually tried to assassinate Iceberg, which is not very good. And Nico Robin like leaves the crew. So does Usopp. Usopp and Luffy have a fight. And a lot of emotional things happening, a lot of things happening. We get to see Frankie for the first time here. On the back, we actually have Luffy and the Straw Hats going on a train in the sky, so that's cool. But the Island of Water 7 is really cool because it's like there's the sea train, and it's just really well designed and really creative. So, we have volume 35 with Frankie's warehouse. And yeah, we have Usopp, Luffy, and then Frankie, and then Frankie's ladies there, and Frankie's crew. And they steal all the money that they got from Skypiea because the people there gave them some money in gold. Or actually they were going to, but then they ran away, and they could have gotten more money, but they thought they were mad at them. So yeah, so we have volume 35 with the back with the Straw Hats all like parachuting down. Love that. That's the second manga box that's front cover with that illustration. So it gets interesting because they're trying to assassinate Iceberg. Nico Robin's with these CP9 members, they work for the world government, and they're trying to unearth this island destroyer that Frankie's like friend and support Tom. They made that, like the blueprints for it, and CP9 wants it along with Rob Lucci, but they can't let them have it. So there is Luffy wearing a crown. Very cool. With a bunch of meat and treasure. Fits him very well. Alright, so moving along here, we got volume 37. I love this cover. This is one of my favorite covers of all of One Piece. So colorful, so cool. And yeah, you can see Zoro, Nami, Luffy, Chopper, Frankie, and Iceberg in the sea train. And Frankie actually gets hit by the sea train and turns his body into a cyborg in the backstory for Frankie, which is very emotional, which is a common theme in One Piece with its backstories. So, we have volume 38, and we got the mermaid, and we have Sogu King, basically the superhero version of Usopp, and Luffy and Chopper are amazed by it, and there's like giants and stuff, and they're trying to save Nico Robin from being executed. So, kind of a big mission to do that. Also, the Going Merry isn't really a well-functioning ship anymore. It's been through a lot, and it gets really emotional, and they burn the ship down, and they later on they build a new one. Alright, so we got volume 39, and yeah, we got Frankie and some of the people trying to stop them from saving Nico Robin. There's the back, which is very like Japanese. It's very cool. Kind of like style of clothing and stuff. Alright, and then we got volume 40. And I love this illustration on the back. One of my favorite illustrations ever, if not my favorite one, actually. It's actually on the back of the manga box set too. So, alright. So we have, can't recall his name at the moment, but he fights Luffy. Luffy goes into Gear's second form while fighting. There's these giants from Elbaf that are helping out Luffy. And gets intense, to say the least. A lot going on. So, we have volume 41. And we got Nico Robin and her backstory with her mom, her mother. We got Sogo King and we got Luffy. And like this island with all this library and this all this history and stuff. It's getting real close. They have to save Nico Robin, and they have to defeat the CP9 members and save her in time. So we got volume 42, and we got the CP9 members with Rob right front and center, and they all like transform, and they have devil fruit powers, which there's a certain class of that for animal devil fruit power users. There's a name for it. I can't recall at the moment, but yeah. So yeah, they have to fight them all and stuff. They have to stop them and save Nico Robin. Alright, and then we got volume 43. So yeah, we got Zoro, we got Sogo King, we got Sanji, we got Chopper going berserk in his berserk form. Where he kind of loses everything and his sense of direction and like what he's doing. Sense of direction, by the way, Zoro is not good at that, but he is a great swordsman. So yeah, on the back we have a gorilla, and then we got Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, the trio monster they're known as, because of how strong they are. And Sanji's like leg with the fire flames is really cool. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 44 of One Piece. We got Rob Lucci and Luffy heading, button heads and fighting and stuff. And we got Nico Robin right in the middle. And yeah, that's the second to last volume of Water 7 and Enies Lobby. And Enies Lobby is basically the location where they're going to execute Nico Robin. Alright, but they don't do that, and they escape, luckily. and Rod Lucci gets defeated by Luffy. So yeah, we have volume 45, and yeah, so yeah, we get Ace here, we got Blackbeard, Shanks, and Whitebeard, Kobe, Helmeppo, Luffy's grandpa Garp. So there's that. Alright. Moving along here, this is where you get to meet Brook for the first time in Thriller Bark, which is a Halloween island of the undead. Spooky. So yeah, I like this volume cover a lot. There's all these zombies. Usopp's scared out of his mind, of course. I don't blame him. And they're all running and scared and stuff. And yeah, so this is the end of Water 7 and the start of Thriller Bark. We have kind of like a Viking kind of illustration here. So that's cool. And then, moving along here, we have all the villains on this Thriller Bark island with Brook. Brook needs to get his shadow back. Luffy gets his shadow stolen and put into a giant monster that acts like him. The shadow basically takes on the personality of the person. So that's interesting. On the back, we have Nico Robin with a sword. And I actually had a figure of her just like that at one point. I don't anymore, but that would be cool to have it back in my collection. And yeah, they're on like this frog or reptile of some kind with really sharp teeth. And yeah. Alright, so next up we got volume 48. So yeah, there it is. And yeah, there's Luffy's monster, which has the same personality as him. And then we have the back, which is a wanted lineup of all the Straw Hats. And at the bottom, there's Nico Robin using her flower devil fruit power, where she can have multiple arms, and it's tearing the page right there. That's interesting. Alright, next up, we got volume 49. We're halfway there. Alright, so we have, I think this is the last volume of Thriller Bark. Or maybe the next one is, I'll have to check. But Luffy consumed all these like spirits and he turned blue for some reason. And then, which is funny. And yeah. That's the main villain who steals people's shadows, and there's this warlord of the sea that are like pirates, or they could be anybody really, that work for the Marines, and yeah, so that's interesting, and they're paid by them too, and they can still be pirates somehow, and yeah, so one of them is trying to marry Nami, who can turn invisible. Sanji's like dream, I guess. So, alright, so we are officially halfway through. I guess, yeah, pretty close anyways, because there's more than 100 volumes of One Piece. But, yeah, so here is Sabadee, which is an island where like a bunch of pirates are, like a ton. And there's these people called Celestial Dragons, which treat people really terribly, which is not good, and Luffy gets really mad and actually punches one, which was not good. I mean, it was, like, and Luffy's right, but still, it was not good because there's a marine island, and the Celestial Dragon called for the Marines, which is, like, right next to the island of Sabadee. But they're trying to find a ship coder so they can go to Fishman Island, which basically means that their whole entire ship gets coded, and it's basically in a bubble, so they can breathe while going underwater, which is really unique and fun. So yeah, we have volume 51. So there it is. And we have the Kid, we have Bonnie, we got Law, we have Zoro, and more characters. the guy who can turn into a T-Rex with his devil fruit, and we have Luffy wearing a blue shirt. And I like how he has like different outfits for every arc. So yeah. Alright, moving along here. That is volume 51. And then on the back, we got Luffy in a bubble machine, which is on Sabaody, which is very fun. Also a cool thing about One Piece in the manga, there's an SBS, which basically means it's a Q&A with Oda, who answers things about the world of One Piece. And this is really cool to find out more about One Piece. This is an amazing volume with all the Straw Hats and Relay, with volume 52. So yeah, there's that. And then we have a mushroom kind of infested place with the Straw Hats. Alright, and then we got volume 53. So what happened is the Marines get warned, right? And then Kuma makes all the Straw Hats separate and go to different islands. And they get all separated and stuff. And Luffy goes to an island of just women exclusively. And they've never seen a man before. So they have like an interesting reaction to that. And then they actually help Luffy get into Impel Down to save his brother Ace from being executed by the Marines. So yeah, we got the back of volume 53 here with them playing some card games. So that's pretty cool. Alright, and then moving along here we got volume 54 with Impel Down, with the warden and the people that run the prison, and Luffy breaks his way in, and Ace isn't there anymore. He's being moved on the island of Marineford to be executed for being a pirate. So yeah, we have volume 55, and we got Buggy, Mr. 3, Bon Clay from Mr. 3 and Bon Clay from the Baroque Work arc. And we have Ace in the background who isn't we have Ace in the background who isn't looking very good. Looks pretty beat up there, which is not good. But the art style for One Piece actually changes over time, and yeah, that's really interesting. And I like how they're all on this giant elephant having a full meal. Alright, and then next up we got is volume 56 with Eva. We have Jinbei who joins the Straw Hats. So we have Eva, Jinbei who joins the Straw Hats. We have the guy who can cut pure steel who fought Zoro. And we have Crocodile back after being defeated by Luffy in the Baroque Work arc, which I don't think I mentioned, but
you must be mistaken.
Because there's a lot to talk about with One Piece. But yeah, he fights him 3 times. He loses 2 times and finally beats him the third time. Alright, moving along here, we got the end of Impel Down, and now we're moving along to the Paramount War with Whitebeard, who's the captain of Ace, Fire Fist Ace, and Luffy's trying to stop the madness and his brother from being executed, and unfortunately he gets taken out and dies in battle in Luffy's arms. It's like really sad and emotional and stuff, and really crazy part of One Piece. But yeah, so we have volume. I forgot to show the back of this. We have the them eating all ice cream, and there's this giant sea creature in the background. Kind of a fun summer kind of illustration there. Alright, moving along here. We have the 3 admirals. We got Akaji and the 2 others. And here's the back with them. And it looks like they're just enjoying a stream with an elephant. There's like a little river, some water, and they're just enjoying that, being outside and stuff. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 59. And yeah, Whiteberg is now looking too good. We have Ace and Luffy fighting together, like the opening song 14, fighting together. And yeah, we have Shanks, Jinbei, Blackbeard, who like steals Whitebeard's power, and then Ace's power gets taken as well after he dies. And then yeah, which is sad, really sad. And we have them all on a dragon's back. That's really cool. And then moving along here, we got volume 60 with Relay, Luffy's dad, and then the backstory between Sabo, Luffy, and Ace. The trio of boys. And yeah, we have the back of them playing some type of sport, kind of like soccer, but its own sport in itself. So yeah. Moving along, we got 61, which is like Romance Dawn for the New World, and I can show here since I already have it here. So we got Romance Dawn for the New World, and then Romance Dawn for East Blue. I wonder if the last volume, this is just me guessing, will be something like that, again for the last time, of One Piece. So yeah. Alright, so we have all the Straw Hats at this point in time, and they're reunited after 2 years later after the Paramount War. We have the back, and we have the back with the Straw Hats, which is a image recreated from the first part of One Piece in East Blue. Alright, and then we have one of the most colorful volumes of a book or anything I've ever seen, and that's volume 62. Looks so cool with the Fishman Island. And yeah, we have like the mermaid there, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that happen in Fishman Island. But we have the back, which is kind of a nighttime kind of a like low kind of bug kind of area. Alright, next up we got is volume 63, and we have the princess and the queen of Fishman Island, and then we have the fisherman, we have Zoro and Luffy, and there's Hody Jones, who's a fisherman who fights Zoro underwater, which is a really cool part. And yeah, so here's the back with the balloons. And Luffy's like in the air with Usopp. Yeah, it says One Piece right there. Right there. So, yeah. And there's a ton of One Piece movies to watch. And most of everything of One Piece is all on Netflix now, which is really cool because I have it. So, a lot of people others do. And a lot of people do as well. So, yeah. Alright, so we have volume 64. Continuing on with Fisherman Island. So, yeah. Very cool stuff. Hody Jones kind of loses it, but he gets defeated, luckily. And, yeah. Very cool. And then the back looks like a movie poster, as you can see. Alright, so next up we got is volume 66. This is really colorful, I love this. And yeah, this is the last volume of Fishman Island. They're looking a lot happier during this point in time, at least the princess is. And yeah, so there's Jinbei and Luffy. And then we got Smoker, Tashigi there as well. There's like a rainbow that's going through the One Piece logo with gold. That's cool. And then on the back we have Luffy with a monkey with the same scar that he got from the war that happens. Alright, next up we got Punk Hazard. So yeah, we have volume 67. And yeah, I haven't read all the volumes for One Piece yet, but I love the art style. And it's interesting how in this, like, they switch bodies and stuff somehow. And Law has like interesting powers, but that doesn't last for too long, them switching bodies and stuff. But it was kind of funny seeing them react to that and stuff. But next up we got is volume 68. And yeah, we have Caesar, the scientist, the mad scientist, and they take him and they're trying to draw out this warlord of the sea named Doflamingo. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to defeat him, save Dressrosa. So yeah, there's volume 69. Very thick volume here. Lots of content. Very cool. We have a fun Halloween illustration with pumpkins. Right there. Very cool. And then we got volume 70. The start of Dressrosa. And yeah, we get to see Law and they learn about the backstory of Dressrosa, which is very emotional and stuff, and and where Luffy fights Doflamingo and goes into year 4. So cool. So yeah, we have the back here, which looks like a karate movie with that illustration, and we have Rebecca and like this coliseum of fights where they're trying to fight over Ace's old devil fruit power. And they're wearing disguises because they're wanted, and Doflamingo and them will be all after them. And that would ruin the surprise. And yeah, so we have volume 72. And then we got the back with the rainbow, and it's like a giant swing in the sky. And we got Rebecca and her dad, and there's this girl that has this devil fruit power where she can transform people into toys. And the people that are transformed into toys, the people that knew them, forget about them somehow. But when they transform back into humans, then they remember them. So yeah. But Luffy's all fired up because he's trying to fight for Ace's power. So yeah. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 73. And these covers are so well drawn, and everything is paneled and super easy to read and tell what's going on and stuff. It's really well done, incredibly well done. So, yeah, there's that. And then on the back we have kind of like a fisherman bar where they're having drinks and stuff. So that's cool. Alright, and then moving along here, we got volume 74 with that girl who transforms people into toys, but Usopp defeats her, and they turn back into humans. So, yeah, but they gotta stop Doflamingo from doing all the wrongdoing that he's done to this kingdom of Dressrosa. And then we have a fun winter kind of background art there. And then we got volume 75. There's like this giant that's like can turn into like how do I explain it? He basically fights Zoro, and he's gigantic and stone and stuff. But yeah, there's Rebecca's dad right there. We got Luffy with his sunflower outfit, which looks cool. And then we have a fun summertime illustration right there. And then we got volume 76, and this is cool because it's kind of like a circle of characters on the cover there. And yeah, we got Rebecca crying, finding out about her father and stuff, and how he was a toy, but now he's not anymore. We have kind of a cool, fun, like kind of like a magazine style of photos of all the Straw Hats there. Alright, and then we got volume 77. And we're getting closer to the end of Dressrosa, which is like where I've read, so that's about as far as I can talk about the series, at least story-wise. But yeah, Luffy defeats Doflamingo though, which was like epic. And we have this illustration which is on the front cover of box set 4 actually. And so yeah, there it is. And that looks awesome. And then we have the back of them eating a bunch of pizza. So there it is. Alright, and then we got volume 79, the last volume of Dressrosa. And yeah, there's a lot that happens in One Piece, but it's like so well drawn and so well illustrated and so well made that it's just a really enjoyable adventure that you're on with the Straw Hats. There's the Straw Hats from like a bunch of different kingdoms and places around the world. Alright, so there it is. Alright, so moving along here, I can't speak on the story, but I can at least show the volumes. We got volume 80. Alright, so yeah, now that I've reviewed all the volumes of One Piece that I've read, we're going to go into some other stuff of One Piece. So, we have some PS Vita games actually, which I ordered all together, which is J-Stars Versus, with Luffy in that. Next up we got is One Piece Unlimited World Red. I played this on the PlayStation 4, but I also have it on the Vita now. We have Burning Blood with Doflamingo and Luffy and Sabo. And then we have One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 with Sabo, Doflamingo, and Luffy again. And then we have One Piece Odyssey. So there's that on the PS5. Wonder what the next PS5 game will be. And then these will be separate videos, or a separate video, that is. So, I got Zoro from the Netflix version show, which is awesome and looks just like the character. Got that. And yeah, I can show the box a little bit. Has the Netflix kind of look to it. And then we got Monkey D. Luffy Gear 5. So I actually haven't seen this happen in the manga or the anime, but I wanted to get the figure because I have a stop motion plan for that. But this has been selling in and out. But this has been selling out a lot. So yeah, that's cool to have. And then we have this here, which is my iPad case for One Piece. Thought I'd show that here. And then we have my new phone cases of Luffy Gear 5 and then Zoro, which looks really cool. So yeah, I love One Piece. I could talk about it all day. I'll make another video after I've caught up all the way through like 106 or so, since that's the newest volume that's out. But anyways, make sure to leave a like if you love One Piece and want to see more. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace.